So here we have a glass of water and streaks of colors bursting through the water. Don't you think it looks really nice? Do you want to find out how to create this? Join us in this episode of Science in the Grove. Welcome to another episode of Science in the Grove with West Grove Science Teachers. I'm Miss O. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are going to look at how we can create colorful rain in a cup of water. Alright, so now I'm going to construct the experiment. These are the items you need in order to carry out the experiment. So you will need food coloring of different colors. This cup shows diluted food coloring, droppers, cooking oil, 2 clear cups, water, and a spoon. Okay, so how do we conduct the experiment? First, I'll pour some cooking oil into one of the cups. Next, I'm going to add some food colorings of different colors into the oil. Do observe what happens to the food coloring when they are added into the oil. So I'm going to add them drop by drop. Okay, so do you notice that colored bubbles are formed in the oil and they are found at the bottom of the oil? So why does this happen? We'll find out later. Okay, next I'm going to stir the contents of the oil gently using the spoon. Do you think the food coloring mixed well with the oil? Okay, next I'm going to pour this oil with the food coloring into this cup of water. Now what do you see? Do you see the colorful raindrops falling? You can see that slowly the tiny bubbles in the oil burst and rain of color is released into the water below. Blue, yellow, red, and green drops. Okay, so we have to wait patiently. Right now we only see yellow drops. Okay, so we see blue drops falling through the water now. So it does take some time for the colored bubble to burst and diffuse into the water. So we see some orange at the side. Okay, so we do see a few other bubbles that have managed to burst and diffuse through the water. So over time, it will form rainbow rain in this cup of water. Sometimes you might also observe different shades of color, which is the result of mixing specific primary colors. So the water, initially colorless, gradually becomes colored. So I've created a colorful rain in this cup of water. Okay, so let's understand the science behind this experiment. So if you remember, when I added the food coloring to the oil, colored bubbles are formed at the bottom of the oil. So why does this happen? Because the food coloring does not dissolve in oil, which means that the food coloring does not mix with oil. Hence, you see colored bubbles being formed. So why are they found at the bottom of the oil? Because food coloring is denser than oil. Now, when I added oil to the cup of water, you notice that the oil floats on the surface of the water. So what does this mean? Oil is less dense than water. Alright, so the colored bubbles are initially found at the bottom of the oil. Then you see colorful raindrops falling through the water. So when the colored bubbles burst, the food coloring will diffuse through the water to form what we see, colorful raindrops. So the food coloring can dissolve in water, which means that it can mix well with water. Hence, you see the trail of raindrop falling through the water. Now, why don't you give it a shot and try this out at home during the school holidays? Share with us your experiences.